Here we are for the top-up show at a beautiful day at Randwick. The weather reports have been great all week, raining every day. It's fucking should be at the beach. What's going on, Mark Lane? What are you doing?
Boiling
this
morning.
Is the weather as bad as RacingRant? What's the story? Just guess?
Well, I can tell you exactly why that happened, but we'll save it for another day, shall we? Because here at Randwick today, the wind's light. It's not predicted to get up particularly, is it, Paul?
No, I don't think so.
And what are you saying about what sort of bias will you be looking for?
Fairly even, but I think maybe rails in run and even in the straight might be okay. Maybe until later.
Which is my thought. Gord was talking about some flooding over the back. I know that the back section of the track is believed to be worse than the
so
front
just
section.
talking about the flooding, Mark, and just so you know, because I wanted to talk to you about it, during the week here at Randwick, the tunnel that goes from the infield to the centre, it's 18 foot high. That tunnel was filled to the top of the water.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you couldn't swim through it. Like it was just chockers with water. So they had a lot of rain.
Yeah, but they have had a lot of rain here at Randwick over the decades.
Yeah, but what if it is lying on the inside, like Gord thinks? What if it is lying on the inside?
Well,
because the water's come up, like he said, and
yeah, but the rail is out 6, is where
that's the thing. That's the 6 metre rail.
Anyway, we're obviously going to be monitoring it, and
preferably
the chat room is
chat room will be all over it.
Yeah.
Yes.
King
indeed.
Gord will be in there.
Oh no.
And well, Daly's got his own channel as well. Daly's Destroyers. You be posting there something there later today?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. We kick off with the highway and Caps Boy harbouring the overnight moves, along with Tom Higgins' horse Blinkin' Snazzy, who's never had a spell, or hasn't had a spell for a very long time. Yeah, so a little bit of interest on the fair harbouring, but you can still get $7 Betfair wise. Any changes here, Glenn?
Sorry, you're going to go to me. I was looking at something. What were you talking about?
Race 1, any changes?
Race 1, any changes to my thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah, I've warmed up with Maya Man. I think it's $19 on the fed. Actually, I think it's a nice bet, Maya Man.
Okay, we'll look out for that. Paul, are you playing
no play
ducking out? 1800 metre highway doesn't interest you. We'll move on to the other distance race on the card, which is the 1.5 mile race 2. And she's ideal, 5,500 matched on the fair at the moment. You can get $2. Our fun is the Triggerlin 550 to 480. What about this race, Paul? Any interest?
Look, I'm a bit perplexed as to why last week they were going to run it over 1,600 and this week they're up to 1.5 miles.
He messes with you, people.
He does. But sectionally and everything else, it sort of indicated the step up in Triple C.
Yes.
Look, it looks the obvious to me, but I think black odds is probably where it's got to get to.
It's funny, it looks so obvious but hard to back.
Yeah.
It's a weird race.
It's a weird race. Our fun has got that 2,400 platform, I think. But, you know, it's got a few question marks. Birth of Venus, I mean, it might have just been that heavy track wonder. I think the favourite.
All right. Race 3, the first of the 2,000 metre race, well, the first of the 1,000 metre races, there's 2 of them, and Baller overnight into $4.80. Got a Thunder 5,000 match sitting there at 64 for $2.50 at the moment on the fair. Glenn, I loved sitting with you yesterday because I knew that Gord was all over God of Thunder, and the first thing you said was, God of Thunder, how can you have it?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I've graded myself up overnight and starting to think it's more of a chance than I originally thought, but I'm going to stick with Baller. I think Baller and I think Royal Witness is a knockout, but it's a very interesting race, especially from a mounting yard mile perspective.
Indeed. Paul, have you got any thoughts on this?
Well, look, when I originally did the review of the trials, I thought, Jesus, God of Thunder's trial unbelievably well, like sectioning and everything else. I want to be able to find it, and I gave it its absolute best figure. I gave it a full step from that, and look, I can't get it any shorter than 13-4, and I've been super kind to it. So I've got to.
You've really gone looking for it, haven't you?
I've really got looking for it, and I've got to oppose it. So one that interests me, gelding off the short break is Baller. I mean, Say Stella's certainly got the credentials to win this, and you know, Coruscate.
Sounds like you're wading into this race.
I need to see. I need to see what sort of price. I'd like to see a bit of support from Baller.
Okay. Race 4, the 2-year-old 1,000 metre race. Dame Giselle sitting there at evens on the fair at the moment, $2. Not that much match, given that it's a horse of prime interest. It is into $1.75 with the Corpse. Gee, I find this a fascinating race as well, because Gord made the very good point that there's no need to bust a gut on Dame Giselle. This is a barrier trial for her. But I suppose that they'd be interested in winning, but they wouldn't be necessarily, you know, they're not. It's not part of the plan, is it?
I don't know what's going to beat it.
Well, maybe the track.
Maybe the track.
Where's it get to on the map?
It's got a sticky gate. I mean, I must admit that's the only negative. I suppose by now race 4 will have a fair idea, but look, it's the only one I could back. I wouldn't want to take a $1.75.
Glenn, anything to offer there?
Tip of the favourite, Mark.
Right, and obviously the mounting yard will be key as well.
Very key.
Because the favourite is resuming. The show county, Desert Lord, $7.50 to 6. Most matches on Cascadian, sitting there at $4.20, but only about less than 2,000 matched on that there. Obviously we'll have a very good guide on how wet the track is by this point, and that will have a fair influence on the price of Jungle Edge.
Can start $10 here, you know, if this track is on the better side of the slope.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, he has had a lot of wet track runs in Sydney where he hasn't featured. Yes, there are some, but there are plenty where he hasn't. Paul, have you got a position on this race?
Look, it's hard for me to find one. Cascadian to me trials like a wet tracker, and I've given it its absolute best figure and can't get it.
So it's the one you went looking for as well?
Yeah, once again, a special reward has got the talent. Definitely, I got it top pick, but I'm just question mark on the 5 weeks off as to why Jungle Edge needs a wetter, I think, and Ashlaw, some sort of hope. It's a
right. So you bunched them up
race.
a bit.
It's a bit bunched.
Two for me there, mate. Good thing.
Cascadian is one of your one of your features. Race 6, the mile race. Knight of Power Firma, Mongolian Wolf Firma, and Monsieur Sissou Firma. A little bit of the speed has come out of the race with Love Shack Baby coming out. I'm quite keen on To Your Health. How are you looking at it, Paul?
The guy back that last when it won, I can't get it here anything less than double figures. So
well, where do you sit with the favourite? Because this is another favourite.
7 to 2. I mean, once again, I like it.
It sounds like a day you've bunched them right up every race.
Yeah, almost, except for a couple of races.
I don't mean that like derogatory. I mean, I understand completely. It's just you're uncomfortable.
I'm feeling uncomfortable about this race. I don't know. Monsieur Sissou,
I'll give you a perfect example. Uncomfortable after I've come back to Matawi. Like, how uncomfortable can you be? Old man Bowman swinging back in distance.
Yeah, it's a Randwick horse, Matawi. It's a
white boots improved.
Well, it was the horse that I mentioned. The ratings to win grid is very favourable for white boots.
It's got an opportunity to.
Do they include the security here in the racecourse numbers? Because gee, there's a lot more blokes in green vests and patrons.
They probably do.
Every one of them needs a good shave.
All right, Libertini is one of the movers of the day. It's into odds on. In fact, you can't do better than $1.82 at the moment on the fair.
Wow.
4,500 matched. $1.95 with the corporate, so that's obviously misleading. But there seemed to be even Gord, who's he's married to Libertini, and he couldn't take shorter than 250. What do you say, Paul?
I could take shorter than 250, but I can't take the current price. I mean, I think it's the obvious one. Once again, it's got a potential issue map-wise. What are they? I mean, I suppose I promoted horses like Kiyomichi when I first did the form because of anticipated conditions. I thought Lyre probably won't be screwed down enough for this, nor Flit first up, but they've got talent.
Interesting that he's put the blinkers on Flit first up, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Glenn, obviously a key horse in the mounting yard. It's a horse that you've got a lot of time for, Flit. And what do we do with Sangria, who's been priced she's very well respected in the market.
I've marked it 16.
Anyway, an exciting race, and a good race to get under our belt for the coming weeks.
I want to mention a quick little roughie there. Emeralds, Tommy Mark won it. Don't think he can win, but I think he could get into a place there late. Emeralds, no?
The man.
T Mark one day. Even backed him a place last night. Something one of Jason's horse, Kawakini. Only ran 5th, but nearly got into place. What a rider he is.
There's that kryptonite of yours again, Glenn.
Yeah, Jason, come on.
The Apollo Stakes and Dreamforce, as you mentioned, Glenn, is now favourite and has displaced Dalazay. Where do you sit with them, Paul?
Oh, look, I think Dreamforce sets up well for this race. I mean, I think it was first up last prep, and the fact that it looks to get a fairly soft lead and control. I mean, I see that as a big plus. I'm just wondering why he took the blinkers off. I mean, he took them off in the trials as well, in his trial well, so I just wonder why they've done that. But look, Elise 7 to 4 is poison.
Okay, and is there a Is there anything you're scared about anything lurking in the race?
Look, the market's got the 3 chances pegged out. I mean, I do think very, very elegant. Should be much longer than it is.
Okay.
For me, Dream Force.
Anything else to say, Glenn?
2 a win.
The penultimate, and no movers of any note in this race. It's a wide open mares race. Paul, playing this one?
Yeah, probably. I'll probably have something on Seasons, I think.
Yeah, well, both Glenn and I were keen on Seasons yesterday. You still keen, Glenn?
Yeah, I think he's got a great chance.
And Fiesta could run a race.
Yeah, well, obviously Fiesta is a horse of great interest today, fresh up with the give in the ground as well. Obviously the track pattern will have a lot of bearing on this race. And finally the nightcap, well, here it is, Vega Days, who I've got in the chair, but I suppose you could make a compelling case for. It's into $3, right? And yet there's not a matching on the fare. You think there's a horse of interest that, you know, there are people itching and to either back or lay, but there's like no matchings on the fare at this stage. Travancore, the other horse that's been spec'd into $9. What about this one, Paul?
I think it all depends on the pattern here at this stage of the day. If they can make ground from the back, then I'm interested in Royal Celebration.
Yep.
And long odds, maybe Persuader.
Okay, Persuader's a horse we haven't mentioned. It's been it's a horse of Mick Kent's that's been here, there and everywhere. It's been a lot of time in Queensland in some very deep races, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the wrong part of the track the other day too. So.
Okay, that's interesting. Glenn, anything from you in the last?
Travancore, if they're getting from behind, we'll know by then.
All right, that's the top-up show from Racing Rant. Don't forget that if you come and join us, you get the first 2 weeks free. You get access to the the hallowed chat room now. There's all kinds of people looking to make their mark in the chat room. I think P. Daly's one of the resident stars. And
one of many, I think.
There is plenty happening in there. We film 4 shows a week. We send out sets for every Wednesday and Saturday, Sydney Metro meetings, and you get all that for $22 a week at the moment. With the first 2 weeks free. You'd be mad not to be a part of it. At least check us out. We hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Cheers.